word that we wear matching shirts tonight.
Matching shirt night.
Thursday night is matching shirt night. Wear them if you have them.
I don't know if Robin ever got one. She never replied to my message.
Oh, just the same thing about the front, the
I don't even remember a message about the.
Now the old get the experience.
That was all week, Louis. That was all week.
What's going on? It's Thursday night live. We are live on the web page. What's going on, people? What's up, Robin?
What up? I am still getting myself together. Yeah.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Louis got his lights fixed up there. He's got his little setup going on.
Hey, I won't be disappearing tonight.
Nice.
It's
good.
Louis and I have matching shirts, but Robin didn't want to join in on it. So
it's close enough. It's black, white.
We can't even see you yet, Robin.
It's my picture.
Oh, okay. Are you a ventriloquist now too? Your lips aren't moving.
She's not moving at all.
All right. So tonight we're going to be reviewing a book. We're going to do stuff a little bit different. We're going to be reviewing a book called Triggers that at least one of us has read. I haven't heard yet if Robin has read it or not. So it could be a very interesting night. And then we're also going to cover some of the 3K formula and show you exactly how easy it is to set up a $3,000 a month income using our tools and, the really easy process with a couple of clicks. Like if you're on this page, there's a button down below, right? But down below, there's two little buttons. Let me share my screen real quick. And maybe that will make a little more sense to you. Let's see this one. I have 4 screens, so sometimes I gotta look. So here's a button that will click over to the 3K formula, and you can learn about it here. Don't go there yet, but later on we'll get to that. Down here are 2 more boxes where you can put in your affiliate token for HBA and your affiliate ID. I guess I didn't realize there was 2 different ones. Or maybe you asked a link or the ID. This is just the ID number.
Right.
And then once you do that, you can click this button and it'll remake this page so that you get credit for this button. And then this button, let me see here. When you click over, and I know I don't usually do this up front, but this has changed. So I really wanted to get it out here pretty early tonight and let other people see. Mine is not updating right because I just updated my files. But anyways, it will click over to this page, which will then carry your buttons over so that people can join in with you on the HBA funnel builder and the get response autoresponder. And then this button here will show you how to set it all up to make it from scratch. See, mine's wrong because it doesn't have both links, but yours will have both links, so that will be corrected. Anyways, so that's the housework, the house cleaning for tonight. If you have this link and you only have one link connected to it like this, you have the wrong link. You need 2 links now. So do that down here below. If you're not involved, we're going to talk about it and we're going to get you involved tonight for $25, right? I mean, 3K a month for $25, hard to beat that. So anyways, tonight is Triggers. Robin, did you read Triggers?
I think the last time I checked my progress, I listened to about 75% of the book, and I really enjoyed it.
75% of it. All right, so you're probably about as far as I am, and I don't want to cover it in like super detail. This book is by a guy named Joe Sugarman, who was a QVC. Well, I mean, he did a lot in direct sales, but he was big in QVC and sold millions and millions of dollars of product, mostly through direct marketing and I think door to door too, if I recall from the very beginning of the book. But this book is about some triggers, some things that you can do to do better with sales, right? So we're going to cover some of that. My name is Jim Hall. These are my friends, Louie and Robin. We're all veterans from the military. Robin is still in the military. And I don't know why. She can't seem to get out, I think, is the problem. And and so we're all veterans. We love doing this thing on Thursday nights, and we love, making money from home. Louie is now, I was almost going to say homeless. That's not what I meant. I meant jobless.
Right.
And
I cancel culture. No, I'm a product of COVID-19 and maybe some policy stuff, and now I'm now unemployed and from a full-time job, but pursuing strongly my entrepreneurship. So if you're here and you're struggling, you're in the right place. I used to always tell my kids when we're heading out the door, if you're not in the van, you're in the wrong place. And tonight, if you're not on this call or watching this replay and you're looking at ways to make extra money or even a full-time income for yourself, then this is the right place to be. It's not going to get any more simpler than this. It is a kind of a done for you system, but you still have to work. You still have to put the work, to set it up, to get some things set up, and then all the pieces are done for you, from that point on. But if you're not, somebody that should be on this call, on this webpage, send them the link, remind them, hey, they're live, because Jim's going to be sharing some great nuggets here on how to make 3K, start off making 3K a month. That's believable. That's should be within everybody's belief realm that you can make 3,000 a month online if you're willing to put some time into it and focus. There you go.
right on, right on. Louie jumping in there. Robin, you got anything? Robin?
Oh, we're gonna get the real Robin. Here she is.
Oh, the real Robin's in the house.
And the lighting is horrible. It's not good like Louis tonight. On the couch tonight, I don't want to say exhausted, but ready for the relaxing weekend. I didn't hear every single thing because I was fighting my internet. I actually dropped out and came back in. But I'm excited about it. And I think those who are serious about building a profitable business, I guess you popped up in time. You serious now? You should be excited about this information that we're going to share with you, because it's really only going to make a better version of you when it comes to sales and business and things like that. The one thing I do like about it is I don't want to say I never consider myself as like a salesperson or anything well, I never did. I never consider myself as like a salesperson, but it just has some logical things that make sense, that is simple, that you can utilize in your business to really increase your chances of, being successful and things like that. Or maybe you do have some success and maybe it can increase your chances, not your chances, but your actual results. I do love the simplicity of the stuff that we'll be sharing with you tonight. I believe that anybody, no matter where you are, can actually implement this. The system that we have right now actually already has some of the trigger type stuff in it. And that's one of the things I like about our industry, is that you don't have to know everything. You don't have to know the things behind psychology and how things work in order for it to work for you, as long as you have people that can build successful working systems with the formulas in there. So I think that's pretty cool.
Cool.
So let me try to fix some light a little bit.
Fix some light there. I will give us a little talking here. What we're going to talk about is triggers, and we're going to mostly talk about, the way that Joe Sugarman saw them, and the way that he kind of described them in his book. And like Robin said, the book is fairly simple. It's a little bit of, common sense, although sometimes I forget that common sense isn't always common to everyone, right? We're in marketing. We've been in marketing, all three of us. We've got 60 years of marketing experience between the three of us, so common sense to us means a whole lot something different than maybe it makes to everybody. I was on with Mike today. Mike Hobbs, the founder of HBA and our products, and he said, sometimes he forgets that this stuff isn't always as simple as it seems to us. So it's hard sometimes to remember that every little step is a trainable step, right? So that was something I thought was pretty profound that he said, that particularly if you're looking for like video ideas and stuff like that, any bit of stuff you learn, as tiny as it is, can be converted into a big idea, because someone doesn't know it, common sense or otherwise. Someone is out there looking for it, so the 5 big ideas in this book, again, it's called Triggers, and it's by Joe Sugarman. And the 5 big ideas are, in general, direct marketing is a general term. And this is just kind of setting up the book to any form of marketing where the prospect orders directly from you. Maybe that doesn't necessarily mean direct, from person to person, but direct from your system, right? The product, the source, and does not touch the product until it's delivered. So usually the prospect pays for the product before receiving it. Not like in retail where you go to a store and you pick it up off the shelf, right? This you're ordering, like we could call Amazon direct marketing, because you're ordering it, you're paying for it, and it's coming to the house. Yeah, you're shopping for it, right? But you're not going there, picking it up, looking at it. You got to kind of have some faith about what it is. And so that's what we kind of do, is direct marketing. We're in affiliate marketing, and we sell a product directly that is delivered digitally, which means there is no shipping, right? The computer just ships it for us, and it's delivered to you instantly. And that's great in this economy, this generation, however you want to say that, because our products are delivered instantly. And so as soon as you pay, you can get started and you can start building your business. So back to the ideas here. As a direct marketer, Joe Sugarman has determined that the most important thing you can do to turn a prospect into a customer is to make it incredibly easy for that prospect to commit to a purchase, regardless of how small that purchase may be, right? So always make that first sale simple. Once the prospect makes a commitment, and that's why we like to do like a lead magnet, because if you give something away, you take a small idea and then you funnel them through a system and you deliver value over time. Like Russell Brunson talks about. A lot of people know Russell Brunson, and he says, his product, at his main product, is $1 million sale to set up somebody's company. And he takes up to 15 to 20% of the business when he does that. That's his main product, is $1 million sale. Well, the way he gets there is with a free book. He gives you a book, and he even the book is free. All you pay is like $6 for shipping or something. And so that's how you start into his process, his simplicity way to get to $1 million sale. And he makes those sales frequently because of the system that he uses, right? And that's exactly the same thing that we do. We have a high ticket item. It's not $1 million, it's way, way, way below that. So you bring out the objections very early in the sales presentations, because some of the biggest objections are, this may not work for me, or it's too much to get started, or there's a ton of objections. You've tried something before, let me talk to my wife, or something along those lines. So by bringing out the objection early and letting you guys know it's $25, right? The funnel builder's $25. Yeah, we have some higher end products. You don't have to get them now. You don't ever have to get them. But you'll make more money if you do, right? So, and then be honest in everything you do and say. And that's one thing that I think the three of us really strive for, is honesty here, you know, and the longer that you can stay honest and have integrity, the longer that you can keep people around in your business. Because once you start telling lies, even little lies, you know, little lies start to show that what you're sharing isn't completely honest, and then people will start to lose faith in you. So that's kind of the setup for the book. What do you think, Robin? Anything in there you'd like to throw out and add that maybe we missed on that? Is Robin frozen? Robin's like, oh, dang. Jim read more than I did, so I'm out.
She's saying network's a little cray tonight, but she's back.
Robin, bail me out here. Robin, you back?
My
God. Man, now you don't even know where we are. All right. So one of the last things I said was bringing out objections early in the sales process so that there aren't any objections left by the time that you get to the sale. The more that we can, and that's why we come on here every Thursday night, right? Is because the more time we can spend with you and help you overcome your objections, the more we can help you in the long run. I got lighting problems tonight. Look, I'm red. Oh, now my mic fell off. What a night we're having. We have this night every night, don't we?
Hey, mine's not muted. I'm not having issues tonight. I'm not disappearing. My internet's not being wonky. So the only issue I have is maybe I didn't read as far as I should have, in the book.
Nah, it's all good. Robin, what are you doing, Robin? Let me check our feed and see if anybody is here making comments. I saw something.
Well, check and see if I'm here. Shoot.
You're here. I can hear you. I can hear you. I can hear you.
No. Yeah. I did get a lot of what you said before you said something about me not really knowing where you guys were. I kind of just dropped off right before that.
Okay. Cool.
Hopefully you can still hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you. So bringing out an objection is basically what I was covering at the back there, and then be honest in everything you do. That's when I saw you kind of fade out when I said that, and I was like, oh no, where'd she go? Be honest in everything you do and say. Be honest, because that's how you grow a long-term relationship, right? And so that's the setup for the book. Anything you want to add, Robin, before I go in and we'll talk about the triggers specifically? Anything
not too much, but just kind of understand or know what those objections are. Yeah.
It's going to be a long one.
Can you hear me? You can't hear me?
I can't really hear you.
All right. I'm done. I'm gonna let y'all proceed.
All right. So trigger number one, and I'm going to open up my book here because I want to make sure that I say a few things more than I have jotted down. But so let me see here. Trigger number one is consistency. And the way that he talks about consistency is in the ice cream ordering sequence, right? So that doesn't make a whole lot of sense when you try to connect those two together. But what he found was consistency is really important in everything that you do, right? And the way I like to look at this, and this is the way I've seen it referred to before, is, sorry, I'm just trying to get to the end of this first section here. If every single doorknob was different, it would be really challenging to go through life because you would have to analyze and scrutinize every doorknob instead of just twisting a handle, right? So because we're such deletion creatures, the more consistent we can make things equal, right, to everything else in life. For instance, I want to pull up a web page real quick. Okay, let me share my screen. For instance, everything that you do, you want to try to make consistent. This is a page that we have, and it's got a form here for just collecting emails, right? This is consistent to what you've seen out there on the internet. Now, I can go into this form and I can recreate this. And I want to show that real quick because this is one little thing that I seen somebody do that I was like, wow, that's not going to work. You know, you can come into this form and you can add a field and you can add a name in here, right? Now, here's the challenge with that. Once you do this, oops, did it not save? I thought I saved it. Once you do this, I didn't do it quite right because you can't see it, but the email is up here on the top. So if I put in my name in the email block, because that's what most of the websites look like, and then I put in my email in the name block that's down below, and I hit get instant access, it says invalid email, right? Now I got to look at it and I'm like, well, what do you mean? That's my email. That's the way I always do it, right? And I hit it again and it's invalid, and I hit it again. And finally I'm like, man, screw this page, you know? That page don't work, right? So that's what they're talking about with consistency, is trying to do things like people are used to. And so that will make the process way simpler. Now, that takes some experience, right? That takes some experience to understand the way things are in whatever field you're in, so that you can be consistent in that. Like, I had a friend when I was in the military that would always say wider. We would be talking about exercising and gym equipment and stuff, and he would always say, you know, those wider weights. And I'm like, what wider weights are you talking about? He's like, you know, Joe Wider. Who? It's Joe Weider, right? So if he wanted to be a personal trainer, and I wouldn't usually correct somebody on something like that, but if you want to be a personal trainer, then you need to know it's Joe Weider, not Joe Wider, right? Because you don't sound like you know what you're talking about if you don't use the correct terms. And that's why a lot of times we'll say things like the funnel or the value ladder, right? Because we want to show that we know what we're talking about. And sometimes we forget that nobody else knows what we're talking about. So we also have to dumb it down for the people that don't know what a funnel is, which is a website that collects leads, right? Some people don't even know what leads are. It's traffic to a web page. So it's a little more than that, right? But it's basically traffic to a web page that now you can contact at another time. So anyways, so that's consistency. And what we're not talking about with consistency is we're not really talking about staying consistent like day-to-day action. We're talking about smoothness, making everything flow the way that everybody's used to. So, I mean, that was probably longer than the chapter actually was. But I know it was something that was confusing when I read it to somebody else, and they were like, what does he mean by consistency, though, even after we read it? And so, man, Robin's gone again. Louis, you got anything that, does that make sense? You're muted. You're muted, Louis. You're muted.
The consistency that you're talking about, Jim, is that makes perfect sense. And it is such an easy thing for newbies and people to look over starting off. So, you know, that is a great tip. And I'm hoping that somebody that watches this on YouTube or the replay, you know, we both have helped people out in setting up their pages and have had simple things like that, that they just weren't being consistent, even though the example may have shown it something that they bought traffic even, and because they weren't doing it the same way as everybody else was, the way they weren't getting the conversions. So but that was a
Right.
great tip.
And I mean, you'd never really notice, you'd never realize that little thing could, I mean, you could cut your leads in half. You could cut your results in half or more just by that one little thing. It's not doing anything wrong, but people that are used to it, I mean, would do exactly like I did. They'd try it a couple of times. They wouldn't read it. They wouldn't look at it really, and they'd just be gone. A few, if they were really into it, would take the time to figure it out, but only a few. So you'd get a whole lot less leads for that one little tiny mistake. Cool. So once a buying decision is made, the buyer is inclined to continue to buy or to continue to act in a way that is consistent with the buyer's previous action, which is the same thing, right? What he described was he ordered some ice cream, and he wanted it with hot fudge and no, he wanted chocolate ice cream. Robin, are you there? He wanted chocolate ice cream with whipped cream, but no fudge, right? I believe is how he wanted it. So they said, oh, well, that's a sundae with no fudge. And he said, no, it's just ice cream with whipped cream. Well, yeah, that's a sundae with no fudge. So he would pay that. And back in the whatever time frame it was like, 20 or 30 cents more than he should be paying, because that's what a sundae costs versus a bowl of ice cream. So he found that if he ordered it and just said, let me get a bowl of chocolate ice cream, and then as they walked away, he said, oh, and put some whipped cream on that, then it was just the price for the ice cream.
Right.
So same kind of thing. And they even tested it where a friend of his ordered it the way he did, and he ordered it the way his new way. And they both got the exact same dessert, and his friend paid the extra money for the sundae without fudge. So that was his example of consistency. And it was a little bit hard, I think, to wrap your head around the idea there, because the waitress was just doing consistency in her job, and it didn't make a whole lot of sense, I think, on the sales side of it. All right, Robin, you gonna stick around this time? You gonna be here for a little bit?
I hope so. I done relocated. Wow. Woo. Woosah. Woosah. I'm trying not to complain and do all that other stuff, so other crap won't happen. But
all right, Robin, what did you remember from the first chapter, the ice cream ordering sequence and consistency? Anything?
I really was kind of blown away by that. I thought it was pretty interesting, especially when he wanted to really test the theory. And I guess his friend, I don't know who it was, but maybe a friend wanted to test the theory. And they did the ordering back to back. I don't know if that's what you were just going over, but they did that ordering back to back. First he did testing separate times, going to places that charge more for the whipped cream. And then it was just kind of like, okay, you would think that once the person asked for that whipped cream, right after someone just ordered, after you made somebody order the sundae or whatever, you would think it would have clicked like, oh, okay, that's the same thing. But it's like, it's crazy how, how that worked, right? And it makes you wonder what all in our sales process, in our content, in our emails, in our funnels, are we able to kind of use these concepts, right? Like, to me, I just think like it's gonna, open my mind a little bit more when I start to write copy, right? And so I thought it was a powerful concept, along with some other things in there. But I did enjoy that chapter. I guess it was its own chapter.
Yeah, and the way I kind of been reading the book is basically like a trigger a day, because there's 30 of them in the book. So I kind of been reading like one a day, and then once in a while I'll get in and I'll read a few more, if I've got a little extra time or whatever. So they're really short chapters, and it works out pretty nice to do it that way. Trigger 2 is product nature. Each product has its own personality and nature. a special series of characteristics that can relate your product to a prospect. Recognize the nature of the product and relate its characteristics to the prospect, and you will have the key to selling your prospect, right? No, I'm not sharing. I'm just reading. I don't have it formatted very well, so I just put some little blurbs just so I'd give some good information before I kind of talk about what it was. This one, what he was talking about was insurance, right? And one of his customers would stop in and buy from him, and every time that he stopped in, he would bring him something either related to his product or to Joe's product, so he'd bring him information about calculators. That's what Joe was selling at the time, was calculators, office equipment, something along that lines. And so this guy would give him information, like I say, to either help him or to kind of just position himself. And they did this, it sounded like, for a long time. And so that's kind of the nature of the product, right? He's selling him something that he doesn't need right now, right? Well, so he kept it fresh in his mind, and he was selling, not like he was hard selling him, but just every time he'd stop in, he'd be like, hey, you should get insurance, you're getting older. And so Joe's next door neighbor died, and they carted him out in an ambulance, and all of a sudden Joe needed insurance. Well, who's he going to call? He's going to call the guy that's been selling him insurance for years, right? Who else would you want to deal with? Like him and trust him. He's got the product you now need, and he's been there for how long, right? So that's part of what we do here. We come here every Thursday night. We try to give you value that you need, and we're here, and we're here every week, and we're here all week too. I mean, if you need something else through the week, we're part of this business, and we're committed to this business. And I that's what this related to me was. We keep presenting. We just keep presenting. I don't ever say, hey, you should buy this. I don't ever try to, pound it in. It's here. If it resonates, check it out. That's it, and we're trying to provide value to you in that aspect. So trigger number 2, I think, is really cool. I think it's something that a lot of people overlook. And again, I think it's really common sense, right? It takes longer than you might think. Maybe some things sell right away, but most things take longer. I mean, you're not selling toilet paper, right? So some things have a learning curve, even just to figure out what it is and why you would need it, Robin, what do you think?
Oh, I'm still.
You're unmuted this time.
I think so. The insurance deal, going back to that, I kind of think I don't know if it's the same type of trigger or what, but I think it's the exposure. When people say you have to expose people to your product over and over and over again, I think that played a huge part in it, just exposing that person. And it's something that we do all the time just by follow-ups. But knowing that you've implanted that seed into that person, into that customer or prospect all of that time, I think it's just planting the seeds for when things do come to, things do happen, and then basically they're going to understand that they really need the insurance or that product that you've been selling them. And it's not quite the way I wanted to put it in, but a lot of times we do need things like insurance. Is nothing wrong with having insurance. I think it's smarter to have life insurance than not to have life insurance. But sometimes we just don't really see that in our current reality, right? It's not important to us. It's not our priority. But the fact that, that person died, would he have gone out and gotten insurance, life insurance, had no one been there saying life insurance, life insurance, life insurance, right? Like he probably wouldn't have. He probably would not. Like, people don't look at people and say, okay, oh man, he just died, let me get some life insurance, right? But because that person was there, I think the exposure is probably the real key
to that. And then when they do see that, okay, you do need it because it is a product that, you know, it's not a crappy product. It's not something that you shouldn't be selling people, right? It's a valuable product. So when they do see it, then it's you that was in front of them, 7, 20, 30 times before you bought that product. So that's just my mindset on it. Like, I literally don't see anybody, looking at somebody dying and then thinking life insurance, unless that was on their mind from a commercial, from a friend, or from whoever. So I think that's
Louis on the edge of his seat wanting to
he's
talk.
ready.
Oh, well,
I got internet too. It's competition. No, I'm just kidding.
Life insurance. I mean, as an example, that somebody, must have mentioned, or if there's a connection, if you ever had a family member pass away, and you heard from a friend or another family member how they didn't pay, they didn't have money for their own funeral, and somebody else, you would, even if an insurance agent wasn't the one that planted the seed, if a family member said if they would have only had something to do that, to cover that, that would be enough to plant the seed that, oh, I don't want to go through that, because everybody's all about them. I don't want to do that. So the seed would have been planted. But normally when you're young, if that came into your life, you wouldn't even think about it. You're invincible, right? And that's really when people should be getting it, because they're the healthiest and all that good stuff. But
yeah, I got life insurance based on people telling me stories about getting out of the military. So I could literally retire. I could literally get a quote today. It could be, just say, $25. I could retire out the military tomorrow, go get another quote. It could double just like that. It's crazy. That's some of the things that's happening with military folks. And that's kind of, so me, just by seeing it happen to other people, like, oh, you know what? Let me go grab this now before I gear up for retirement.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So that trigger was, again, product nature. We talked a lot about insurance, but the idea here is to understand the product that you're selling well enough to position yourself into a situation like that, so that you give it the time that it requires. You're not hard selling anybody something that they may logically not need right now. So just understanding that will really put you in a better position to sell whatever it is. And like I said, some products have a shorter time frame than that. Some products need a long time to sell, especially, like we talked about earlier with Russell Brunson, the $1 million product. He said, I can't just walk up to somebody on the street and be like, hey, you want to start a business? It's $1 million plus 20% of the business. You ready? He's like, I gotta teach them. I gotta grow with them. They gotta grow with me. That's the nature of the product there, right? So and then trigger number 3 then is the prospect nature. Where are they? And he talked about this one is called Love and the Campus Hooker. That one's not really standing out to me about what it's about, but I'll read it. I'll read what it's.
I was about to ask you, what's that one about?
Discover the emotional and the logical reasons that your prospect will buy your product. Once you know these reasons, you'll have the key to effective selling. And I think, if I recall,
might be benefits.
This one was the one that he started his own, or he got into a the worst alpha beta, what do you call that, college sorority, and he decided that he was going to make it better, so he brought some hot chicks. Right?
Yes What sells? Yeah,
what sells?
Yeah, I really like that. I really like that. I thought, it was obvious too. Like, before he said it, I was like, yeah, girls. And then
Right.
it was, companionship and stuff with guys, fellowship, what do they call it?
Yep, fellowship,
Grow love.
grow love.
Yeah. So I thought that was like just a simple thing that you know, anybody could implement in their marketing if they're not using it. And in fact, in our industry, people overuse it to where it's, you know, not even healthy for some folks, right? You know, because people come into this industry wanting to make a lot of money. And so that's one of the main marketing things: make a lot of money, make $10,000, you know, make you know, X amount of sales. But if you just literally look at your product and turn it into something that people actually want, I think that's a huge thing. Yeah, I thought that was a pretty cool turnaround for the sorority that he did.
Well, and like with our premium traffic and conversions academy, you know, we have a Monday night mastermind that we all hang out, and so we build that community. And then like today, I said earlier that we were on with Mike today, and he went over some stuff, and then we kind of just hung out for a while. It was pretty cool. Just, you know, hung out for like an hour and just kind of talked about this and that. And I think maybe Mike was bored or something and just, you know, just wanted to talk, you know. So it was really neat though. It was neat to just hang out, go over some stuff, share some ideas, mastermind in a really small group. I mean, there's only usually like 6 or 7 of us that show up for that. So it's really cool. Where Monday nights, you know, there's up to 40 or 50 of us now. So it's a little less private, I guess, but it's still intimate. I mean, it's still just a small family, even at 40 or 50 of us, you know. So it's really cool too. And it's one of my favorite parts of our product. And Mike even said, you know, if it wasn't for the Monday night things, would so many of us still be around? And probably not, you know, because the product, not that the product runs out necessarily, because there's a lot of stuff in it, but it is a little bit static. So that adds a whole lot to it, having those masterminds along with it. So
well, and the product has grown. You know, having that mastermind, the product of the HBA has grown. You know, from the contributors that, you know, show up on it, yourself, Robin, Amy, Katie, Kevin. You know, it's a family. It's not like being in school. It's not like being anything else. You know, I came from the corporate world. You know, you don't get the synergy that you have there. That, you know, we just bounced some ideas off this last Monday night that I guarantee you, come this next Monday, somebody's going to have some sort of a solution to it, you know. And even it might not be in the finality of it, but it's that everybody, you know, has the opportunity to speak and be heard. You're recognized. You're with like-minded people. You know, it's you just feel part of this. You might not have something to contribute, you know, to the meeting every week, and you don't need to. Just being there and observing and open to something allows you to grow regardless. To being closed off and not attending, you know, when you have that opportunity to do it. Because I guarantee you, there's going to be plenty of people that are down the road that didn't do anything. They're going to, you know, might say would have, could have, should have, that they should have maybe attended those. It would have helped them, you know, with the stickiness, you know.
right. And that's a big thing that they talked about, you know, getting people into those too, because for one, I mean, I've seen that it helps those people to stick to it, but it also helps them to learn on their own, you know. So that's been a big thing in my experience also. Trigger number 4 is objection raising. And so what he says here is to raise the flaws or the objections to purchasing your product right up front in your ad copy or your selling approach. So if there's something challenging, or if there's something that isn't quite great about it, you know, maybe another product is a little better at this, and you want to highlight that this is the way this is, but this is a way better version of it. Like this one's really easy to install, even though maybe you need more parts than the hard to install other one that you have to get a professional to install. You know, what you think, Robin?
I was able to quickly relate that to our product, the funnel builder. So that's why I really love this. I'm telling y'all, it's stuff that, you know, if you've been in the marketing industry or been trying to market your product, you go through this book and you can actually start implementing it. And one of the things that I know what I was doing when I was promoting the funnel builder to people over Messenger, you know, I will promote the funnel builder up front, right? And then eventually we'll get into questions about, you know, does it do this, does it do that? And when it boiled down to it, there were like a select amount of things that people really want to see in a funnel builder. One of which we really don't have, but we have a slight solution to it. And it's a blog, right? You know, like, does it have a blog capability? No, we don't have a traditional blog capability, even though you can literally do certain things. I think I've seen Jim, I think I've seen you where you could actually create some stagnant pages, put it together so it could appear as a blog. I also seen some people come in and actually take that domain and connect it to both their blog and the funnel builder. And don't get me to line about what that technique is called, but it's basically maybe a subdomain or something like that. I can't remember. But basically it's a way to get around it. And so I could possibly, you know, start off by, you know, we don't have a blog, but this is what we have. And if you really wanted to connect it to a blog, you can do it that way. Like I can do those biggest objections or biggest things that they would want to see in this type of product up front. So it was the blog. And then I think it was like how many, no, because we got unlimited pages, but like how many funnels, right? So we have different funnels that we can create, but it's not like some of the traditional programs where you can say, okay, this is funnel number one, and that funnel goes all the way through to you end that funnel, and then you can go and click on another funnel and edit that funnel. But we have pages to where you can collectively create unlimited funnels, technically, right? So, you know, I could talk about those things up front, and everything else after that is kind of golden, you know what I mean? Because it's a excellent product. But if I actually start off with saying, you know, this might come up, you know, later down the line, let me take care of that now. And then we don't have anything else to talk about but good stuff, really.
Right. And as far as the blog goes, this is kind of the way that we have, and this is trigger number 5 is objection resolution, right? Resolve the flaws or objections you raise in your ad copy or presentation to reinforce why your prospect should buy from you. So to resolve that problem it's pretty simple to just bring in something that looks like a blog, right? So you just add these, whenever you make a page, all you have to do is create your blog, looks just like this, right? You got your image, you got your stuff on the side, you've got all your content in here. You can change all of your stuff to bigger and smaller sizes. You can bold, you can underline, you can do everything just like in a blog. And then all you have to do extra is on the blog page, you just have to put a little snippet in here that you've already written. You just paste it in there. It's not like a big thing. And then you have complete control over this because it's all drag and drop. So it's actually better in that aspect of you can do it however you want. So, and then like you were saying, you've got, not only do you have unlimited pages, but one of the features that we have in our blog, which is super cool, is to be able to actually copy a page and just go on and make another page. Let me go over to our Christian Abundant Living. And we have a template page basically in here. This is the one I was just showing with the blog. So there's a template page here that's just blank. So all we got to do in order to recreate a new page inside of our funnel, our builder, our site, whatever you want to call it, is just duplicate this page and then call this whatever we want. We can call it page 17. We could call it March 18 blog, right? You could name it whatever the name of the blog is, and then you could just call this March 18. And then you just click into here and you start your content. You add your text widget. Go ahead and make this into, oops, didn't mean to do that one. Make this into 2 columns. Bring this up here. Put yourself a little picture over there. I mean, it's all drag and drop. And then what's super cool is, right, if I throw this in there, I can drag this around however I want. I can shrink it. I can make it larger, shrink it, however I want. But all of the rest of my stuff in my page is already here, and it just came right over with me. And now since I copied that over, if I need to change my logo here, I can change the logo on any page in the whole setup, and it will change it out throughout the whole entire website. So same with the links and stuff. They've got column settings to make these global. And then so anything that's global, you can just change with a click of a button. See how it says global there? It says global here and global there. So all this stuff is on a global. So if I want to just change this button, it'll change it everywhere. I don't have to go in and change it on the whole entire, on every single page. So that's some stuff. And then we can also copy individual pieces too. We can copy this, and then we could just drag it down. So like I can copy this, and then I can bring this over here and put it underneath if I wanted, something like that. So anytime we get something kind of how we want it, like Louis was working on his page and he added some buttons in, and then we just copied the buttons and then put a stack of them, and they're all exactly the same as each other once you get them how you like them. So, so that kind of covers, objection resolution. Those things are taken care of, and our way, I find, is way easier. And when you consider that it's 4 times cheaper, I mean,
I think a lot of people don't blog. I think they just want to blog anyway. So it's kind of like, are you really going to use that blog?
Right.
Or how often do you plan on blogging? You plan on blogging once every, couple weeks, month, and you probably would be better off with something like that.
Right. Because most blogs, you still have to carry hosting on, you still have to carry SSL on, or you have to find a plugin that's not paid. So you got all those. Go ahead, Louis.
Well, I think the way that you just demonstrate for the amount of time, to have articles out there for the search engines to find. I mean, that's why people blog, right? Is to have content for the search engines to find. But if they're not going to do it that often, then they'd be better off doing their article writing and putting it out on an article website, the ill frequency that they're going to do that, right? Like e-Zine articles or something that has a high PR ranking. And then you can link those sites to your site. You can link them to your YouTube account and to other landing pages. I think you're allowed to up to 3 links or something in a standard article. You would get more juice out of that than I think if you're not blogging every day. Now, if you're a V-blogger or blogging every day, that does not apply. But if you're going to just throw an article up once a week or every couple of weeks, then this is perfect. This is a perfect tool, and you'll actually utilize it without having to learn, like Jim was just talking about. Everybody see up at the top of our page, this is a shared page off of Jim's site that we're all linking to. We all get credit from it, but it has the padlock up there. So it's a secure site. It's a secure page. All right. If you do that anywhere else, you have to pay for or find a plugin and know how to install it. And those are all things that can stop you in your tracks from progress. Just trying to deal that if you're doing this, if you've got a full-time job and a family, and you're trying to get this kicked off and really get something going, then those things right there can derail you, depending on your technical ability. By the time you get back to it, you just might not. And so keep it simple. One tool does it all. If you find that you need it more later on, as you find in your freedom, then you do that. Say, I need to break this apart, or use, like I just said, an article site that already has good PR, good standing in the search engines, and will get your links and get you the equally amount of what you're looking for. Hope that was along the lines there, Jim.
Yeah, for sure. And then trigger number 6 is involvement and ownership. And we talked a lot about this kind of already. Make your prospect use their imagination to feel more involved in the buying process, right? So I'm having a hard time remembering the process, the steps here that he used specifically. What I'm thinking is Monday night mastermind, and being involved. Raising dirty laundry up a flagpole. No, that was objection raising. Sorry. I don't remember that one either.
That wasn't where he was talking about somebody went into the store and started, if they started turning the knob of a TV back in the day, of course, that he knew pretty much the percentage or the possibility of him selling that product to the member because they were already kind of like,
they already qualified themselves by doing that. He caught on to, like if you take a test drive in a car, you're more likely to buy that car because you become part of the sales process, right? This one also, one of them that we missed, at least what he's talking about here is, this was objection resolution still, turning monkey poop into Shinola. When he took the sunglasses, the blue blockers, because he's a big blue blocker guy, is one of the big main things he sold on QVC, and his salesperson or host or whatever threw them on the ground and stepped on them and they broke. And he's like, yeah, but we'll replace them, so it doesn't matter if they break, we'll replace them, so he was able to turn that into an advantage. And he said that, we found the part that's weakened there and we've actually increased it. So this doesn't happen normally, this one though, sorry, I thought I was going to have enough information with these notes, but the TV salesman secret, that's what it was. And so how do we relate that back to our business, Robin?
I wish, and this is not really saying what is, it's just saying what I wish. I wish that we had a trial for the funnel builder. I so wish, most of the funnel builders have a free trial. But sometimes we do kind of, we don't have a free trial or I don't even think we have we don't even have a trial that's like, spend $2 and have a 3-day trial or anything like that. But one of the things I think we do is something that we did recently where we had a lot of people come on to our Monday night mastermind. We actually just implemented that to where once a month you get to come out and feel the vibe, feel the family, see what it is that you're literally missing out on every Monday. And sorry.
One thing we do have is if you buy the premium product up front, the premium, it's got a new name and I like to use it because I'm still learning it. Traffic and Conversions Academy. If you buy that up front, you can actually get 60 days of the funnel builder included to check that out also. And the Traffic and Conversions Academy is everything you need to get traffic, to get conversions, get sales, get coaching, all of that. So that's a really cool thing to have that as an option also. We're going to be wrapping up before long, Robin. If you want to just hang out there, that's fine. We're obviously not going to get through all 30 of these because these are pretty involved, but hopefully we got some good information out there to let you see that this book is pretty decent. It's a little bit of an older book, but so trigger number 7 is integrity. And I mean, integrity is pretty easy to know. The more integritous you are, the more you tell the truth, the more value you give, the more people are going to get to know, like, and trust you, right? So,
Jim, though, sorry, just put down in the comments there the title and everything of the book, so, somebody can purchase it, if they want to get the rest of the tips,
Yeah, I'll put it down here. And I will say, look around on Amazon a little bit. I don't have my link. I won't put my link down here, but look around because there are some different costs. There were some costs that were a little aggressive. And so I did end up finding it on Kindle for like $4.99 or something, but I think it was over 20 or 30 or up to $200 for some versions of it. Maybe it's out of print or something, but it's our book of the month inside of HBA. So we're suggested to read a book every month, and some people do. And I think we'll start to do this a little more because I think this has been very valuable information, and this particular book, a really great way to demonstrate some of our product and stuff as we go with the reason to talk about it other than just selling the product. Let me go back to the webpage real quick and remind you of how you can get involved with us. You can come here right underneath of this video, and there's a button right here, and I still don't have mine working right, but that's okay. There's a button right here. If you click over to it, you'll land on this.
What's going on? My name is Mike Hobbs.
You'll land on this page where Mike Hobbs, the founder of the HBA, one of the founders of the HBA, is going to talk to you. And he will tell you all about this $3,000 per month formula, this simple formula that you can earn $3,000 per month just by promoting these tools and traffic and lead generation and these products that we've talked about tonight. And then along with GetResponder, the autoresponder, which we talk about, frequently here on the live as well. So really simple way to go about this. And then this page, like we demonstrated, this page is all made for you. You just have to put in those couple of bits of information. You've got all of this stuff down the page that talks about other people's progress and these people are people you'll get to know. They're on the calls every week with us. Amy Starr Allen, Richard Hairston. He's been here actually with us a couple times talking here on this live. Kevin Souza, Katie Stage, me and Christy, Anthony, Josh, all these people you'll get to meet and talk to, LT Turner. So it's not like these are just, what other members are saying. These are people that are active and speak. Amy speaks almost every Monday night because she's at the top of the leaderboard every week. So, tells you exactly what she's doing, exactly how you can do it. So it's a powerful system. It's really cheap to get started, and it's 80% commissions. So anything that you get, you can resell it for 80% and make, with 2 sales, you're already in profit. Anything you guys want to add before we wrap up?
I love their freaking page, and thanks for setting up our Friends Making Money page too. That was awesome.
Hey, we're friends making money, right? We're doing it.
That's it, right? And again, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can end up going over to Jim's page or something. It doesn't really matter. We are friends here to make money and help one another, lift each other up, and to get our goals, of whatever those are for each one of you. So if you're seeing this video for the first time out there, click on the link, go over to the page, join us Thursday nights. If you've been marketing for a while, get a hold of us so that we can maybe add you, invite you out on the Zoom, and help that way as well. We love having guests on. So That's all I have.
And if you resonate with one of us more than the other of us, let me know whose link you want. I'll give you Louis' link. I'll give you Robin's link. It don't matter to me one bit, So just let me know. If you're watching on YouTube, not if you came here from their emails. I'm not going to take them and pass them around. But if you're watching on YouTube, just let me know that you found it on YouTube. You didn't have a direct link to it, and I'll give it whoever you want. So it works great that way. So that's all. That's all I really got. It's simple. It's fun. We enjoy doing this every week, and we will see you next week. Have a great night, everybody.
Peace. See ya.